I might be biased, but I think cats are amazing, aren't you, mate? But they do have a curious nose for adventure and mischief, which means that sometimes they end up at a place like this. In this series, we'll meet cats close to catastrophe.
I know I'm scary, but I'm not that bad.
The animal rescuers who dedicate their lives to saving these amazing animals.
Oh, we got her!
And members of the public that are there to help them.
I didn't know what the conditions was like up there. Every day I prayed that she was alive.
I have Brody here for you.
Brody?
I'll experience firsthand what life is like treating ill and injured moggies. But I hear that you have been in the wars at one of the country's busiest animal hospitals.
No pressure. Quite a lot of pressure.
I don't want to be a vet anymore. We'll meet cats that push the boundaries and challenge what we think is possible of our furry friends.
Tula's changed our lives in so many ways.
And I'll bring you the science behind what makes your beloved kitty one of the most impressive creatures on the planet. Coming up.
They can sort of lose the eye, can't they?
In Birmingham, Inspector Hershey Bowl investigates a bad case of cat flu. But has she got there in time?
50-50 is probably about as good as I could give them, sadly.
I channel my inner Tabby when I help give this tiny kitten a hearing test. I do that all the time at home, so I'm quite good at it.
Come on, Fatty.
And in Yorkshire, can Inspector Kira Benham rescue a heavily pregnant feral cat?
Nice big cage, but creates a problem for trying to get hold of her.
In Birmingham, Hershey Bowl is responding to an urgent call about a poorly kitten, which she believes may have cat flu.
Sounds like it's in a right state. It's got really bad, gunky eyes. They're completely closed, and it can't even stand up properly. Kittens are very vulnerable. They'll go downhill quite rapidly. Hello, RSPCA. You called us about a kitten?
Yeah.
Thank you. What's your name?
My name's Adnan Ali.
Adnan. Okay, Adnan. So where did you find this kitten?
It was born in our garden.
Uh-huh.
And it was all right for the first few weeks.
Cat flu is one of the biggest killers of cats in the UK. It's particularly dangerous for kittens, and the prognosis for this poor little one isn't good.
I think that one's actually, unfortunately, dying, my darling.
Adnan didn't realise the severity of the situation, and sadly it's worse than Hershey first thought. Cat flu spreads quickly, and there are other strays, including 3 kittens, all showing signs of infection, living in Adnan's garden.
This one is really poorly. You can hear it, can't you?
Yeah.
Starting with symptoms such as runny eyes and sneezing, if it goes unchecked, a secondary infection begins, and cats can develop ulcers in their mouths and lose their appetite, making them weak.
This kitten's going to lose its eyes, literally. Can you not see? Look, it's losing that one. Yeah. Oh, sweetheart, I know.
Also, ulcers on the eyes develop, which can lead to blindness.
That's going to need to see the vet. And then I'm going to be guessing that those aren't going to be much better. That one is actually dying, I think, really, unfortunately. Yeah, it's not going to make it at all. That's just really sad. How long has that been like that?
4 or 5 days.
Why didn't you take it to the vet earlier?
Yeah, I know, we thought it'd be okay, but
yeah,
that was a mistake.
Where's the mother?
Bring her back.
Is she around?
Yeah, she's around.
OK. Is it a stray?
Yeah, it's a stray. It's not our cat, but, you know, we give it food sometimes.
OK. You hold that. Don't let it go. And I will grab a basket.
Unfortunately, it's probably too late for the kitten in the box, and Hershey will have to move fast if she's going to save the other 3.
I want to get the others to the vets, because they might have a little bit of a chance. People will feed an adult cat, and then when it has kittens, they don't really think it's their responsibility to look after the kittens. OK, come here, sweetheart. Right, you go in there for me. Right.
Now all they need to do is collect the other kittens.
So they know you better than they know me. Brilliant, pick it up. Well done. Pop him in there.
Sadly, it looks like this kitten is in the later stages of cat flu too.
Oh, that one's really bad as well. That's it, just pick it up quickly. That's it. If you really pick them up really quickly and then put them in the basket, then they don't have time to think about it. What it is because one of them's got it, Adnan, they're all infected. If they stay like that, they'll die.
Hershey's concerned the kittens have been allowed to get into this condition.
Is that the mum?
Yeah.
How long have you been feeding her?
About a good year.
If you've been feeding her for a year, technically then you own that cat.
We would.
Yeah. So if she has kittens, whose kittens are they?
Yeah.
Yours. If I own her and she has babies, I own the babies, and I need to then take responsibility for them.
Although Adnan called the RSPCA, he may not have acted fast enough. It's time for some more words of wisdom from Hershey.
You need to get her done. All you're going to end up with is more and more kittens. And then those kittens will get older, and they will, when they're 5 or 6 months old, they'll breed too with each other. You're going to end up with masses. And you know something, on a serious point, if you're the owner of them and they get sick and it's your responsibility, you could end up in trouble in terms of being prosecuted for neglect. That's the quickest bit of advice I'm going to give you, my darling, because I'm just conscious of the fact that the kitten's dying.
Cats, and especially kittens, are a big commitment. They need looking after, and it's clear from Adnan's reaction that he didn't think feeding them made these moggies his responsibility. For now, Hershey needs to get these poor little mites to the vets as soon as she can.
Just think about what I've said and do the responsible thing. I don't want to lecture you at all. You're a bright young man. Yeah? All right? You take care. And thank you for calling us as well, at least. All right? All right, take care. Bye-bye.
It may be too late for the tiny black kitten, but let's hope Hershey has got to the other 3 in time. In Birmingham, Inspector Hershey Bowl has brought 4 tiny kittens suffering with cat flu to the Newbrook Farm vets.
The collection was originally about this kitten, which you can see is really not very well at all. In fact, I'd say it's got worse, that one.
Unfortunately, Hershey's fears for the little black kitten are confirmed, and vet Rob Ingle has to put him to sleep.
His eyes were stuck together with pus. He was desperately trying to breathe. It's horrific. He's suffering. He sadly just needed to go.
Yeah.
So I did it straight away.
Hopefully Rob can save the other 3.
Oh, a bit of a mess, I'm afraid.
But it's not looking good.
A lot of ulceration on the tongue. You've got quite a poorly eye there as well. Oh, come a few. Probably the worst one. Again, stuck together. The eyelids are scrolled in. Yeah, a bit of ulceration on that one too. Okay. I'll try and clean your eyes up a bit so I can have a better look.
OK.
Rob has to use an antiseptic solution to wipe away the thick discharge caused by the flu. And it's not just around the tiny kitten's eyes.
It's all over his legs as well.
Yeah, is that where he's been pouring in his face?
The poor little kittens can't see, and they're obviously in pain.
Should be able to breathe a bit better now. Just get the worst of it off your nose and your eyes. OK, you can go back for a minute.
And Rob has a major concern for the 3rd and final kitten.
His eye's so sore. Whether there's an eye behind that, I don't know yet, but...
When the eyes get really bad, they can sort of lose the eye, can't they?
Oh, definitely. I mean, this one might have, for all I know, he's lost the eye. And I don't think he can see much out of that eye yet either.
Right.
It is swollen. We'll try them on medication. We'll give them antibiotics, and we'll give them some eye drops.
OK.
Might soothe the eye with a bit of time.
Brilliant.
Some anti-inflammatories, try and bring all that down and see how they get on. Sadly, cats do die of cat flu, and especially when they're very young. You can see the pus again coming out of this cat's eye. We just cleaned it, and there's yet more coming out. They are very much in the balance.
Yeah.
So I hope we're fast enough with these, but 50-50 is about as good as I could give them, sadly.
Although I couldn't save the black kitten, at least then I've given these a 50-50 chance, because in a few days they probably would have gone downhill the same way. And I'll just keep my fingers crossed, because they're all very sweet, and obviously as kittens are, I just want them to get better.
As cat flu is so contagious, for now the 3 kittens will be kept in the isolation unit, where they can be cared for and monitored. Cats have highly developed senses. They have an acute sense of smell for tracking prey. They can see better than us in the dark and can detect higher frequencies of sound than dogs. But not all cats have perfect hearing. Many people find white cats with blue eyes beautiful. But did you know that this sort of beauty often comes at a price, as 1 in 3 of them suffer with some kind of deafness? Today, I'm at Southall Cattery meeting clinical manager Amanda Rooney, who, with the help of yours truly, will be testing 4 white-haired, blue-eyed kittens to see if they've been affected by hearing loss. Hello, Amanda.
Hi, Jo.
Brought you a little present.
Hello.
So what we're going to be doing with them today?
It's quite a simple test. It's just basically making noise out of their field of vision to see whether they respond to it or not.
Right. These 4 kittens were born just a few weeks ago after their mother, a white stray, was brought in by an inspector. Is it hereditary as the mum passed it on?
More than likely, their mum has 1 blue eye and 1 amber eye. Deafness doesn't have to be bilateral. It doesn't have to be both ears. It could be in one, and it's quite common that her left eye is blue, then she may well be deaf in that ear as opposed to both. So we'll get out Logan. Come on, sweetie. There we go.
First up, we're going to check to see if Logan can recognise low-frequency sounds, using, of all things, a bucket.
Try and keep them focused on what's going on in front of them.
I hate to bang my own drum, but I think I've got this cracked. Sadly, it's not having any effect on Logan.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite loud as well, isn't it? Even
Yeah.
yeah. No,
So that's
I think,
very
yeah, I
definitive,
think
I
that
think.
is definitely, yeah. I mean, even sometimes if, like in an adult cat, if you see them out in a garden and they are like focused on a bird or something and there's a noise behind them, they may not necessarily turn away, but their ears will flick involuntary anyway, just as a stimulus to that, so.
Next, we're going to test Logan's sister Mystique to see if she can hear high-frequency sounds. And Mystique sounds like she's in a girl band.
Come on. Long-haired white cats are more likely to be deaf than short-haired white cats.
She's more likely
She's
to
more
have
likely
that.
to be than her shorter-haired siblings.
I'll just give this a go behind her. No. Not really.
I don't think so, no. I mean, you could be slightly more sophisticated. You could go from left and right and things like that, but generally, you know, they should turn around to the... No, not at all, no, not at all.
Is there anything else you can use? Any other noises you can make?
A hiss is quite a good one.
Okay.
If another cat hisses at them, then,
right.
you know, they'll turn around.
Do you want to hiss or shall I
You
hiss?
hiss.
Okay.
Let's have a hiss then. Crikey, she's not even feeling you blowing her, though.
Unfortunately, the kitten's siblings, Caliban and Gambit, don't respond to the tests either. I think I can perhaps rent out my services as a tester. Poor thing. So that all 4 of them,
I think
sadly.
they probably are, yeah.
If you do have a white cat at home and you've done rudimentary tests and suspect they're deaf, what's the best thing to do around them at home? How should you treat them any differently?
If somebody wanted to let their cats outside, we would want them to say that they had a secured garden, because it's just minimising the risk.
Yeah.
Better to keep them in. There's much less risk of anything that they're not likely to be able to respond to because they're deaf, so dogs, cars, etc. More so as adults, they're often quite vocal. Their meow is often quite loud, you know, so they'll walk around the house meowing their head off really quite loud. So if you can put up with that, then yeah, that's fine, yeah.
So, Amanda, even though they've not had the best start in life, poor things, are they going to be more difficult to rehome, do you think?
I don't think so, no. I mean, they're gorgeous for a start. They're really cute. Being in London, indoor cats are really, really popular.
Thanks very much to you, Mystique, and good luck. Oh, speaking to me. Right, I'll have this one then. Because they can't hear themselves, deaf cats, like my little friend Mystique, tend to be more vocal in the meowing department than hearing cats. But why do cats meow in the first place? Here's our resident science buff, Dr. Lauren Finker, to tell us more.
So what most cat owners don't know is that their cats have perhaps made up a specific cat language just to communicate with them. Cats in the wild, they will meow to their mothers, and they may be saying things like, I'm in pain, or I'm hungry, or I'm a bit squished, or I'm trapped. But this is something that they wouldn't then carry on into adulthood. But this is quite different from domestic pet cats, and they'll also carry on meowing if they're well socialised and they live with people. Cats that live with other cats, they won't necessarily meow very much to their other cat companions. If they meow at us, we'll either give them food or we'll give them attention. Perhaps we'll let them outside as well if they're meowing by the door. Cats probably do recognise the fact that we're very vocal, and often when cats meow at us, we will meow back. So again, this is a way that we're encouraging them to have a much more vocal life than they perhaps would otherwise.
Thanks, Lauren. Every day's a school day. So now you know why cats meow. 24 hours after they were rescued by Inspector Hershey Bowl, Vet Rob is checking up on the kitten's progress. Unfortunately, the tiny tabby's condition worsened overnight and he had to be put to sleep. But thankfully, there is some improvement in the remaining two.
It's early days. They look a bit better than last night, which is saying something because they did look very poorly. I can start to see their eyes. These two have now got 4 eyes between them that are visible. The one that I had to put to sleep, the eyeball had actually burst. It's not so much just the inflammation around the eye, it is the eyeball itself. It's basically about as bad as you'll get, sadly. I mean, that eye is still very sore. Hopefully over the next 24 hours I'll get a better look at that as the inflammation goes down in the eye.
And for the cat that was in the worst state yesterday, things are looking better.
This is the one that's actually gained some weight because they are both eating. But his eye's still very gummed together. They'll continue their treatment of antibiotics, pain relief and anti-inflammatories, and eye cream. They're also on some powder to try and make them sneeze out the snot, basically. There's no better way of putting it than that. The more of it that comes out, the better they will be.
Hopefully, these two sorry souls were rescued in the nick of time. We'll catch up with them again later. In South Yorkshire, Inspector Kira Benham is following up on a call about a heavily pregnant puss that's been living on a waste site.
Hello? Hi, is that David?
Yeah.
Hello, I understand you've got is it a feral cat that you've managed to confine?
Yeah, I've got it in a cage now.
As well as expecting kittens, the feral feline also has a badly injured paw.
Hello, you all right?
Hi.
Good, good. Where's this pussy cat then?
Go round back.
Yeah.
David, one of the workers on site, has been feeding the cat for several months and, realising she was injured, has managed to lure her into a dog crate.
Right, let's have a look. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Hello, sweetheart.
Is there anything we can do about that?
Wow, that's a right colour, isn't it? Is that just mucky or is that grey? God, it's heavily pregnant, isn't it? So it's this front paw here.
Front left-hand leg.
Right.
When it sits, it holds it up here and it's twitching all the time.
Right, OK.
But with a petrified puss trying to hide on the other side of the crate, Kira can't get close enough to have a proper look.
If we get her down to vets, we can knock her out and have a good look at her.
But there's a flaw in Kira's plan. How is she going to get a heavily pregnant, injured feral feline from this large dog crate into a small cage made for cats?
What I'll have to do is put a cage in and try and scoot her into the cage in the crate. Because what I can do is we can open the entrance hatch like that. I think we'll turn it round and push it that way. That's it. All right, sweetie pie.
Come on, fatty.
Charming.
Come on, sweetie pie.
Come on.
But the curvy kitty is refusing to play ball.
Nice big cage, but creates a problem for trying to get hold of her. See if I can grab her with my hand, but... Come on, sweet pea. Come on. Come on. Come on, baby.
And still no luck. But finally, the pregnant Moggy gives them a break.
Good girl. Come on. That's it, got her. Ha-ha! Job's a good one.
That's no wild cat, is it?
Well, it makes me wonder. She's sweet. I don't think she's as feral as we think. I think she's probably been domestic at some point, because she's not hissy. That paw. Has she had it up as she'd been lame with it? Has she not been wanting to put it down? She's just holding it up when she stood still?
She seems to walk, run about, like, tilted.
Right, OK.
But when she sits, paw's always up.
And it's definitely the left front one? Left front, OK. We'll get her checked out at the vets. And what I'll do is we'll get her examined. Well, it's either a massively overfed cat or there's some babies in there somewhere. We'll see if we can get that paw checked over, because it may well be it just needs a bit of, like, an anti-inflammatory and a painkiller, you know? I'll let you know anyway what's happening. All right, David. Thank you, sweetheart. Cheers. The guys here said that over the last few days she has been lame on that leg and holding it up when she's been stood still, so I think it's worthwhile getting her down and getting her checked. I can't really see a lot, to be fair, because I can't get close enough to her to examine her.
Will Kira be able to get to the bottom of this mum-to-be's poorly paw? We'll find out next. Also coming up...
Black cats are really hard to home. It's sometimes superstition.
Will black cats Phantom and Norman get lucky and find a new family? Not many witches living around south.
No.
No. And Inspector Paul Heaton rescues a feline living in filth.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah, she's messed there quite a bit.
In South Yorkshire, Inspector Kira Benham has brought a heavily pregnant cat with a suspected injured paw to vet Phil Gillams.
Hi there, how are you doing?
Hi, Phil, you all right?
Okay, have you seen any blood or anything like that from it?
All right.
Have they seen her lame then?
Yes. She's been holding that foot up. Right.
So that's very fluidy.
Isn't it? There's some
yeah, there's a couple of
but nothing
cuts. Oh, there's something. Pad is very swollen, very large,
very inflamed.
and it's very pouchy. Could be an infection. I wouldn't be surprised if she's got like a nasty splinter and then got an infection.
But it's not just the poorly paw Kira's concerned about.
The other worry is that she's pregnant.
Well, she's quite large, isn't she? She's got to be. You don't get that fat without having kittens in there, do you?
Not really.
She's very large, she's very tense. I think I can make out with a couple. I don't want to squeeze too hard, otherwise I'll just cause her problems. But yeah, I would imagine she's fairly far gone.
Feral cats are normally neutered when they're brought to a vet, then returned to where they were found. But because this big mum is expecting, it can't be done until after she's given birth.
She's quite tolerant of us handling her. If we try and find her a fosterer, so she can have her babies, and then we could put her back once she's neutered.
Yeah.
For now, Vet Phil will give the cat a shot of antibiotic and anti-inflammatory to try and clear any infection and swelling in that dodgy paw. If the problem doesn't clear up, he'll have to sedate her to take a closer look.
We're going to get her somewhere nice to go and have her little kittens as well.
I'll go wang her in, catch her down there.
Hopefully her foot will clear up with the injections we've given her. If it doesn't, we might have to think about doing surgery to see if she's got something stuck in her foot. But obviously, if we have to give her an anaesthetic, that'll have an impact on the kitten, so hopefully we won't have to do that. So we're going to monitor her over the next couple of days.
Good girl. Oh, she's a big girl, aren't you?
She's a heavy girl, isn't she?
She is heavy.
If her foot gets better, she'll go to a foster home over with the RSPCA, and they'll keep hold of her until she has her kittens. And once her kittens have weaned off and no longer need her milk, then she'll be neutered and released back into her environment. And the kittens will go off and have loving homes if people will rehome them.
Hopefully this mum-to-be will make a full recovery. We'll catch up with her again shortly. In Asia and Europe, it's thought that black cats bring good fortune, but sadly in the UK, they aren't always that lucky. Almost half the cats in RSPCA centres are black, and on average take a third longer to find their forever homes compared to their ginger and tabby pals. Today, I'm at Southall Cattery, meeting kitty care assistant Kirsty Kemp, and not one, but two black cats that have never met before, but are hoping to be rehomed together. Hi, Kirsty.
Hiya.
So, who do we have here?
This is Norman.
Hello, Norman. Norman's here for quite an important reason today, isn't he?
Definitely.
What is it?
He was reserved, and he's also reserved with another black cat, Phantom, and we need to check to see if they get on together. And this is really, really crucial, because if they don't get on, then obviously they can't go home together, which is not... It's going to be quite upsetting, really. We don't want them to send them home, the stress, having to come back again. So we want to make sure that they're 100% OK together.
It could possibly all go horribly wrong.
Possibly, yeah, but fingers crossed it all goes well and they can go home.
And are black cats popular here?
Not really, no. Black cats are really hard to home.
Why is that, then?
It depends, really. It's sometimes superstition, but, yeah, I don't understand it, really, because they're absolutely lovely cats, so...
Not many witches living around South.
No.
No. OK, well, shall I grab Norman?
Yes,
and then,
please.
Do you want to go
I will
get
go
Phantom?
Phantom, yes, please. That would be great.
Fingers crossed. Oh, it's just like blind date, isn't it?
It is.
At least you and I are getting on very well,
I know,
Kirsty.
that's great.
There's a lot riding on this, so time for a little pep talk, I think. OK, Norman, this is quite important, right? If Phantom's like a little bit difficult, OK, you're the one that's got it. Yeah, you've got to sort it. I know you're not too pleased by that, but let's just see how it goes, OK.
This is Phantom.
OK.
That's what to do, just put him on the floor.
So, do you want to take Norman?
Thank you. Oh, there we go, Norman. Good boy.
OK, Phantom. Let's see. It's the moment of truth for these two. Will they get on, or will the fur start flying?
Just let Phantom wander around for a bit just to get his
get
bearings,
used to the
yeah.
play. And no hissing yet. Will you literally just put Norman down?
I will
and
put him
see
down, yeah,
how
and then
they
if
are
we
with
just
each other?
get down on the floor.
OK.
I'll put him down now, actually. I'm hoping they get on. If they didn't, then obviously we will have to call the owners and they'll have to make a decision on who they want to take.
No one would want to make a choice between two cats they'd already fallen in love with. I'm keeping everything crossed. Is the fact that they haven't gone straight for each other's jugulars a good thing?
Definitely. This is a good sign so far. It's all right.
It does get a bit tense when they finally start sizing each other up. If they don't get on, one of these hard-to-rehome black cats will lose out on a new family. If they did start anything, would you grab one of them?
No, you never go straight to pick one of them up because they will turn around and bite you.
Oh,
so
okay.
what's best thing to do
Good
is,
job you told me that.
Yeah, grab the nearest thing to you and try to distract them. Never go straight to pick a cat up if they're fighting.
OK.
Because you will turn around and get bitten.
Oh, right, because I was going to get stuck in there and go, right,
Yeah,
Norman,
no, it's
you're
not...
coming with me.
Yeah, no.
Well, to be honest, this is better than it could have been.
This is perfect.
What would you say you're seeing here in terms of their behaviour, then?
I mean, they're not going for each other. And as you can see, Phantom was rolling over and he's showing his vulnerable parts, so...
That's a good sign,
That's a really
is
good
it?
sign. And also, Norman sat comfortably on my lap. There was no issues there. There's no tail wagging that they're obviously annoyed. No ears back, they're not scared. Good body posture. This is a really, really good sign, so I'm happy enough to send them home together.
I'm really pleased.
It's your new brother.
I think that's fantastic,
I
then,
do.
isn't
yeah,
it?
definitely,
Really
because that
great.
means two black cats get to go home together.
Absolutely. I think we were good role models
I
there.
definitely think so, yeah.
Norman. So it looks like these two black cats are going to share a home together after all. If you decide to get another cat to join your existing moggy, seek advice and introduce them patiently and carefully. Nowadays, it's not uncommon for cats to live well into their teens, so if you're getting one, it's a big, big commitment. But sadly, sometimes circumstances change and our feline friends can get left behind. Last year, the RSPCA rescued or collected over 4,000 cats that had been abandoned. In Liverpool, Inspector Paul Heaton is following up on a cat that he's been informed may have been left behind by its owners when they moved house.
If you are moving and you're taking all your stuff, you know, you've got a duty of care to take your animals as well. You can't just leave it behind open, someone's going to sort it out for you.
Neighbours think the tenants left the property weeks ago, and they got in touch with landlord Eugene after they realised the young cat, a girl called Scatty, had been left behind.
Yeah, you're right, excellent stuff. Yeah.
You'll have to excuse the smell, my friend, as you come in.
Hello, Kitty. You're a nice little pussy.
The neighbours were saying that she was continuing to come to the window and crying.
Conditions in the house are grim. As well as the awful smell, there are half-packed bags and rubbish everywhere.
Yeah.
In fact, she's gone there since last
night.
Yeah,
that's right, yeah. Yeah, she's messed there quite a bit.
And it might not just be Scatty that's using the house as a toilet, putting her at risk of contracting internal parasites or infections from the other cat's poo if they have it.
One of the neighbours was saying the other day that the window at the front's open, and the cats were always coming in.
The amount of faeces that is through the house suggests that it isn't just her.
No, that's it, yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, this is an attempt to leave her with some form of water which she's fouled in.
Yeah.
But it's been made undrinkable. Before Eugene found her yesterday, it's not clear when Scatty last had something to eat or drink.
It's just been either put in here or dumped here or whatever for her.
Yeah.
You hungry, girl?
She's certainly on the thin side.
It's water that's the biggest problem, really, to be honest. That's the bit where they get dehydrated.
Cats can only survive without water for a few days, so it looks like Scatty's been saved in the nick of time. Any longer, and the consequences could have been dire.
Right, I'll go and get a basket for her.
OK.
And we'll put her in that. And I'll just, we'll sort something out from there.
One of the neighbours believed that she'd been left here for a month, possibly.
Lovely little thing. You'd come home with me, but unfortunately I don't think my doggy would like you. If I said, well, it wouldn't.
You're in safe hands now, Scatty.
It's going to be all right in there, isn't it? Yeah. You're going to be fine in there. What we'll do, we'll whiz her in this. Get up to the vets for a nice check. See where we go from there. Let's go and make you secure in my car.
All that's left to do now is sort the paperwork. As Eugene is the landlord and key holder of the property, he's allowed to sign over Scatty to be checked by a vet.
Thank you very much, no, much appreciated.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. I don't know the reasons why the people have left, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And then we'll get in touch with the owner in the next few days and see what she's got to say for herself.
Paul takes Scatty to the Greater Manchester Animal Hospital.
Don't be scared.
Where, apart from being underweight...
And I certainly wouldn't want her any slimmer than this.
She's given the all-clear by vet Rachel Watkinson.
Right, Scatty, come on.
After weeks trapped in an empty house, Scatty's only got one thing on her mind.
There we go. Oh, there. Oh, yes. Oh, that's nice, isn't it, eh? Oh, you are hungry. So keep her in now for 24 hours, just give her some extra food, and we'll look at maybe transferring it to one of the catchers at a later date. There's definitely a failure duty of care in respect to this animal. I don't know quite what's going on, but ultimately, yeah, get the cat signed over and find a nice proper home from now.
Looks like Scatty's had a lucky escape. Remember the heavily pregnant feral puss with an injured paw?
That's it, got her.
Ha-ha! Well, the good news is that the antibiotic and anti-inflammatory she was given by vet Phil did the trick. Not only did her swollen foot heal up, but just 5 days after being rescued by Inspector Kira Benham, she gave birth to 3 healthy kittens, Geraldo, Seamus and Gemma. The feline family is now being fostered by Fiona Mason.
Hi, Mama Cat. Mama Cat's called Cheryl. She was named by the guys in the animal centre, I think. Something to do with Cheryl Cole giving birth about the same time.
But unlike her namesake, our Cheryl prefers to spend her time out of the limelight.
She's okay, bless her, but she's so terrified of people. When she first came here, she did not get out of the cat basket for, oh, bless her, about a week and a half. And then she suddenly discovered the bottom of the bookshelf. She feels safe in there. Rather than stress her out and keep trying to stroke her and touch her, we're taking a back seat at the minute and letting her relax and look after her kittens.
Animal welfare organisations rely on a network of fosterers to rehabilitate and socialise homeless cats. After a month in her spare room, Cheryl the cat has learned to trust Fiona with her kittens.
They're absolutely amazing. Whilst Mum's very terrified of humans, the kittens are actually going to be okay. We've spent a lot of time playing with them, cuddling them, making them realise that humans aren't bad.
With 12 years fostering under her belt, Fiona has a very unique way of socialising her tiny charges.
When they became aware of us, Mum was teaching them to hiss at us and growl at us, but we went with the old rule that when they hiss, you give them a kiss. So you kiss the feralness out of the kittens.
Well, it certainly seems to have worked a treat.
As you can see, these guys they just want to be with us. They just want to play. They just want cuddles. So it seems like we've been quite successful in bringing them round, so these guys will actually get absolutely normal, loving family homes.
And when the time comes, Fiona isn't worried about kissing the kittens and new mum Cheryl goodbye.
It's an honour to be able to help them. It's always heartbreaking when they go, but if you didn't let them go, then you wouldn't be able to help the next ones.
Fiona, we salute you. I'm sure those adorable kittens will be snapped up very soon. Still to come, we find out what happened next for the poor tiny kittens with cat flu. And we go global as I bring you another amazing rescue from the internet. Earlier, Inspector Hershey Bowl rescued 4 tiny kittens who were seriously ill with cat flu.
I think that one's actually, unfortunately, dying, my darling.
Sadly, 2 were so poorly, vet Rob Ingle had no choice but to put them to sleep.
Yeah. It's horrific.
And it was touch and go as to whether the remaining 2 would survive.
50-50 is probably about as good as I could give them, sadly.
But I'm pleased to tell you that 3 months on...
Billy, back, come on, tea time.
They're fit and well and living with Rachel Ilbury and her son Benjamin from Bicester.
I think it was Bert's cheeky little face that drew me to both of them.
Sadly, as a result of the cat flu, both boys had to have their left eyes removed. But that was part of the attraction for Rachel and Benjamin.
Most people would look at them and wouldn't want them because they're missing an eye, but Benjamin said, no, I want these 2. And I think it gives them their characters because they're different. It hasn't stopped them from running around or playing. They're still just as playful as any other kitten that you would have. Their eyesight's perfectly fine. They still can see like normal cats.
Billy and Bert are settling in, but can still be a bit nervous around their new family. However, each day they're making progress.
Today was the first time I managed to get to stroke Bert without him running off. Billy! And today was the first time Benjamin's managed to get Billy to come and play with him. Billy! So I think that's made him happy, I think, this afternoon. They're getting there slowly, letting them do it at their pace rather than our pace.
They may have had a tough start in life, but the prospects are now looking good for these 2 pussycats.
They're 2 lovely little kittens. So, you know, what they've had in the past is in the past. And we just look for the future now. Hopefully we stay nice and healthy.
Ah, we hope these 2 lovely boys stay nice and healthy too.
What a nice little pussy.
And there's news about Scatty, the skinny young cat that had been left home alone in a house that she was using as a litter tray.
That's going to be all right in there, isn't it? Yeah.
That was 2 months ago. Since then, the owner has been tracked down and said that she rehomed Scatty with a friend and she must have found her way back into the flat on her own. The owner signed her over to the RSPCA, and I'm pleased to tell you that Scatty, now called Sooty, has found a new home with Joanne and her daughter Imogen.
Imogen had been asking for a pet for quite a while. We had a look around, we saw Sooty and we went to have a look at her. Imogen fell in love with her straight away and she came home with us the next week.
And it's clear that Imogen and Sooty have a special bond.
Sooty, I like to feed her and play with her. Sooty's my friend and she's really nice.
Sooty's life is now a world apart from the horrible house she was rescued from.
I'm happy now she's living with me and Mummy. Cute little cat.
As well as landing on all fours with a new family, Sooty is piling on the pounds too.
When we first picked her up, she was really thin. She looked like she hadn't been eating properly. But she eats a lot now. She quickly put weight on. And she's struggling to get through the cat flap now, so I'm going to have to buy a bigger one.
You want to go in there, Sooty?
And after being stuck indoors for so long,
You want to come outside?
Sooty loves nothing more than playing in the garden.
She's really curious. She's always wanting to explore.
With her newfound friend.
I love you, Sooty, and that will never change and I'll never forget.
We'll never forget you either, Sooty. Looks like you've had a clean sweep. And to end the show, here's a YouTube clip of an amazing rescue from across the world. In China, this little kitty took taking the tube to a whole new level when he got stuck in a pipe. Luckily, a Chinese fire crew were on hand, and after a bit of sawing, prodding, and shaking, they managed to squeeze the little fella out. Thankfully, curiosity didn't kill this cat.